So firstly, a warm good morning to you all. I hope you're doing well. It'd be interesting to know how you're all kind of doing, but I'll talk to you a little bit about an idea that I've got for September for that one. So this is our Q3 Gender Networks meeting. We have got an absolutely stellar lineup of speakers. So for all of you joining us for the first time, welcome. Obviously, we normally do these meetings face to face, but we are virtual. We've been virtual actually for the last two meetings, and it seems to work quite well. So one of the things I would say as we go through and there's speakers, please feel free to ask questions because we can all see the chat box. So you can address your questions to the panelists, you can address them to the group, which is always a good one because then everyone else can see what questions. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Vanessa Vallely. I am the founder of Gender Networks. So let's go through the agenda. So we've got a quick welcome from me. We then have the fantastic Harriet Minter, who talks to us about In the News. So she's the lady that gives us those gender headlines that we might have missed because we've been heads down doing our jobs. So also on the board of Gender Networks. I'm absolutely in awe to be joined by the fabulous Edwina Dunn, OBE, founder of the Female Lead. Now, if you are not followers of the Female Lead, where have you been? So you can find them on Facebook, on Instagram. Edwina amassed 1,000, millions actually, of followers on both those channels. Daily inspiration in abundance. But I'm going to let her tell you about her story at 9:20. So at 9:40, we have Caroline Walker, who's head of client programs at Ipsos Mori. She's going to be talking to us about some research that was done around International Women's Day, around, and then subsequent research on public attitudes towards COVID. So Caroline is a member of Gender Networks, as is Ipsos Mori. And then again, fantastic to be joined by Dr. Suzanne Dole-Morris from the beautiful St Andrews this morning, talking about her new job, the con job. Getting Ahead for Competence in a World Obsessed with Confidence. Fantastic book. Susan is a serial, get my words out this morning, a serial author and definitely one to follow as well. And last but not least, the amazing Nicole Hurd, head of Lean In Circles for the Lean In Foundation, from Sheryl Sandberg. So we're going to hear all about those free resources that we can all access. Very important at the moment, obviously, given the pandemic and the fact that we're all still locked indoors. So firstly, I'd like to welcome our new members in BESCO. We've got some guests on the line to see what we're about. So welcome to Zeb, to Lloyds Banking, to Free, and to DTCC. So in terms of who else is on the webinar, we've got all of these different companies that have joined us this morning. And again, I want to talk to you a little bit in a sec about how I intend to address the networking side of what we do at Gender Networks with an event that we want to run in September. So just bear with me on that one. So just to let you know how we can help you. So we've had a lot of chat on the last call around, now is not the time to kind of fall back on our laurels in terms of what we're doing for the women in our organisation. Quite rightly, things may have taken a turn, but we need to make sure that we're factoring in the intersectionality of those women. And we was talking about that probably about 18 months ago when we held one of our Gender Network events. So again, if that's something that you're looking at, how can you do more engagement to ensure that every single woman in your ordinance feels represented and feels included? More than happy to have that conversation with you. So other things that we can help you with as part of your membership, how do you virtualize your events? So we have, over the last few months, gone completely to the virtual world. We've used so many different tools. We know what suits big audiences, small audiences, all the different things you can use for free at a cost. Come and talk to us. We're happy to kind of share that to help you to mobilize a series of events. Our virtual webinars are still running. I think we're up to about number 48 of those. So far, 5,000 people have benefited from those webinars. There's an amazing one running tomorrow with a gentleman called Daniele Finducca, who's also spoke at Gender Networks, and I'm going to try and get him in again for another meeting. And he runs an organisation called Token Man, and it's very much around the kind of male engagement side and how he felt one day when he went to a dinner and the table was full of women and he was the only man. He realised how it must feel for women. So Daniele's fantastic, and he's doing a webinar tomorrow on hacking, using hacking as a tool to drive change. So again, completely free. If you missed any of our webinars, you can go back and watch them on playback. But a real good way for those of you that don't have any budget of just sharing those webinars across the country, far and wide, so that people can benefit from them. incredible speakers. From our perspective, we can recommend speakers for your event, say speakers from all different walks of life and backgrounds, loads of different topics. We've worked with thousands over the years, so happy to obviously suggest some of those for you. And again, sharing your best practice. So a number of you, what you don't see, reach out to us in the background. Can you give us some advice on this, or who within the gender network community does this or does that? And we can signpost you and we can connect you with those individuals. So don't ever sit there in your committees asking yourselves, how do we do that? Or how would we approach that? Come and talk to us and we'll connect you with the right people who have been there, seen it and done it. And then that way you can hit the ground running a lot quicker. So before I hand over to Harriet, just a little talk about the networking side. I was thinking about what we deliver at Gender Networks. Not only do we bring you amazing speakers, insights into research, connections, best practice, recommendations, all of those sorts of things. One of the things that has obviously been missing for me this year is that ability to connect you all. So a number of you will recall in our physical meetings, I always do a speed network. Quite hard to do when you're virtual. But there is a way of doing it. We can use Zoom and we can use different rooms. So one of the things I'd like to suggest, if all of you are up for it, and you can put it in the chat group if you are, is that we do an event in September that is purely focused around networking you all and ensuring that you all know each other. Because the relationships you create outside of Gender Networks is as important to us as the relationships you create inside. So if you're up for that, let me know. We just literally put you into different rooms with different industries, and I'll set you some questions and you can talk and discuss those, and then each of you within your rooms can come and present them back. But it will help you to expand your network. How I physically move you around on different tables, not quite worked that one out yet, but I'm sure there's a way. And so again, if you're up for that, do let us know.